Hi, this is Damianne again. I'm counting down the top 17 most brutal mass murderers of history. And just so you know, Hitler is only number 3, so stay tuned to find out who are the 2 people that beat him. At the bottom of our list, we have Attila the Hun, who was the epitome of barbarian brutality. He swept all the way across Eastern Europe, raping and burning villages, anyone who came across his path. He did get a taste of his own medicine, though, when he drowned in his own blood on his wedding night. Number 16 on our list is Slobodane Milosevic. And in the early 90s, he caused a war that killed up to 100,000 people and dispossessed around 3 million. He also placed around 20,000 Muslim girls and women into rape camps and placed the Bosnian capital under siege with artillery and snipers. Those that he did not take hostage for prisoner exchanges or place in concentration camps, he just executed straight out. Our number 15 is Harry S. Truman, who authorized the use of atomic force against the Japanese, dropping an atomic bomb on Hiroshima on the 6th of August 1945 and on Nagasaki on the 9th of August 1945 in order to end the World War II. Now, he was successful, as the Japanese emperor did give his unconditional surrender after this, but he cost the lives of at least 120,000 people and fatally injured at least 100,000 more. Little interesting factoid, Mr. Yamaguchi, the only known survivor of both bomb attacks, died on the 6th of January this year, and he was 93. Genghis Khan is our number 14, and he is responsible for changing the demographic situation in Asia. His Mongol army ended up killing 1,700,000 people or more, and drastically reduced China's population. Benito Mussolini, and he was responsible for killing 400,000 Italians and about 30,000 Ethiopians. He is also said to be one of the key figures in the creation of fascism. Number 12 on our list is Idi Amin, who is from Uganda, and in order to secure his regime, he was responsible for killing over 500,000 people, mostly regular citizens or bankers or judges, just thinkers in the society. It was said that so many people were killed and thrown into the Nile that the villagers around the river had to constantly fish them out so as to stop the dams from becoming clogged. Our number 11 is Saddam Hussein. He is responsible for 2 million deaths during the Iran-Iraq War and around 200,000 during the Gulf War, although there are no real official numbers. During his reign, he is held responsible for 100,000 Kurdish deaths, which was discovered when US troops found mass graves in 2003. Finally, he is held responsible for 500,000 Iraqi children's deaths due to international trade sanctions. Number 10, we have Suharto. He is responsible for the deaths of over 2 million people in the 60s, and it is said that the disposal of these corpses was causing a major sanitation issue in eastern Java and northern Sumatra. Thousands more were also killed in Indonesian provinces. Number 9, we have John Combanda, who was the Prime Minister of Rwanda during the Rwandan genocide of 1994. He killed hundreds of thousands of minorities, and the numbers reach up to 800,000 or even 1 million. Number 8, we have Leonid Brezhnev, and he was the General Secretary of the Communist Party in the Soviet Union during the Soviet-Afghan War. He is responsible for the death of 1 million people, and over 5 million were displaced. There were 1 million soldiers that were disabled during this time, and over 3 million non-combatants were maimed or wounded. For our number 7, I present to you Mengistu, an Ethiopian leader. He committed massive human rights violations during his almost 30-year regime. Tens of thousands died, were murdered, or were simply gone, disappearing into the night. Tens of thousands also died during massive internal conflicts during this time. Almost 100,000 died during his forced relocations, and among his many victims were university students, intellectuals, and politicians. Our number 6 is Kim Il-sung, the Korean leader during the Korea War. He is responsible for over 3 million deaths, and it is said that at least 1 million of those died horrifically by starving to death. Our number 5 is Pol Pot. He was a Cambodian leader who directed a ruthless program to get rid of all Western influences or capitalism from his society. He relocated the entire population by force to these agricultural fields that were called killing fields. And over 1.5 million were worked or starved to death, died of exposure, or other work-related issues such as disease. Another way to get killed in these killing camps were if you didn't work hard enough, if you expressed grief over the loss of a family member or a friend, engaging in sexual relations, or any other myriad of things like that. Number 4, we have Hitaki Toujou, who was responsible for the deaths of more than 8 million civilians in Pacific Island nations. He was also responsible for the murder of tens of thousands of Allied prisoners of war. It is said that when he was executed, he became a martyr for the emperor. As you know, our number 3 is Adolf Hitler, and he was the leader of the National Socialist German Workers' Party and is responsible for the death of over 43 million people, including 6 million Jews and other undesirable populations that were part of what we now call the Holocaust. Joseph Stalin is responsible for the death of over 20 million people, half of which actually starved to death. And he also executed over 1 million for political reasons and exiled 28 million to work camps. That makes him number 2 on our list. And that brings us to our number 1, and that's Mao Zedong. And boy, was he a double-ended dick. He is responsible for the deaths of 78 million people during his 40-year reign as leader of the Communist Party of China. Thousands of people would be dumped into mass graves and buried alive. That was his favorite way of killing. Don't just blame Truman. There can be other events that can cause large mushroom clouds, and in a future video, we're going to go ahead and count down the top 11 historic events that created the largest ones. In another video, we're going to have a short historical look at the Darwin Awards and how they came to be, and then a top 13 countdown of our favorite Darwin Awards. Thank you for joining me on counting down the top 17 mass murderers of all history. Don't forget to comment and rate my video, and really don't forget to subscribe to our channel. All right, thank you. Bye. What is that word that I'm trying to hear? Demographic situation in Asia. Okay. People in somewhere, I have forgotten. Indonesia provinces.